Good morning. Good morning to each of you. I am Dr. Corrine Johnson, and I would like to welcome each of you on this morning to Grace for Today 5-Minute Devotional. And on this morning, our subject is going to be sow generously to reap generously. And our key scripture is going to be coming from 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 6 and verse 8. And it says, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. And whosoever sows generously will also reap generously. And God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. And so the first thing that I want to tell you is probably something that you already know. So it's a reminder for you this morning. You reap what you sow. Whether it's good or bad, whatever you sow, you're going to reap. That's true about money, but it's also true about everything else. If you sow affirmation, people will affirm you. If you sow criticism, people are going to criticize you. That's how it works. You always get back more than you put in. So if you plant a kernel of corn in the ground, you're not just going to get one kernel back. You'll get an entire stalk with several ears and hundreds of kernels, right? So when you plant a seed in the ground, do you get an ear of corn the next day? Of course not. You plant in one season and you harvest in another. And so that's why we have to be so careful this morning about the seeds that we are planting in the ground. Because every time we open our mouth and we say something negative, or we say something that's fault finding, or we say something that may not be true, it may be a lie, or we speak a curse over somebody else's life. We think that, when we say stuff like, you just like your daddy, you ain't gonna amount to nothing. We think that that's just casual words, but you're speaking a curse over that person's life. And when you put seeds in the ground, they're going to come up. They're going to produce a harvest. And so we have to be ever so careful what we say, what we do, because you're going to reap whatever it is that you sow. And the same is true when it comes down to giving. You give to other people, you give to God, you give your life away, but do you reap the results the next day? No, you don't. There is a season of waiting before God gives you the harvest. Whether it's a good harvest or whether it's a bad harvest, it's going to be a season of waiting before you see that thing manifest in your life, but you better believe that it's coming. God gives you the harvest. Why? Because he's testing your faith to see, right, if you're trusting him during the delay. While you're waiting, you can trust God to bless you abundantly. So if you sow generously, you're going to reap generously. You're going to reap just what you sow. But you must understand that with anything that God does, you know, you're going to have to wait. There's going to be a waiting season. There's going to be some time where God is going to test your faith. And so just make sure that the seeds that you're sowing, that they're good seeds. Make sure that they're positive seeds. So make sure that they're godly seeds, building up other people. Make sure that you're sowing seeds of your finances into other people, into ministry. And then one day, after the waiting period, and God tests you to make sure that your faith is good, then you'll begin to see a harvest begin to spring forth in your life. And so on this morning, we certainly thank God for each of you for tuning in and joining with us for Grace for Today 5-minute devotional. And it is my prayer that as you go forth, that you will go forth and have a blessed day.